Good afternoon. It's Tuesday, March 31st. I know that I am blessed. I do know that. In a series of conversations with people yesterday, Joan and I said that we had not had any illness, and no one we knew had been sick with the COVID-19. I haven't heard of any of you in the congregation who've been down with this illness, and I hope that's the truth. We certainly know folks who fit this age, the older adults. We also know many who have compromised immune systems. And so far, no reports of COVID-19. We've been able to FaceTime with Alex and Bryn, Campbell and Kennedy so that we can get our Granny and Dad Joe fixes. We talk with my folks regularly. I've checked in with my brother and attempted to check in with my other brother during these days. I've called good friends in the midst of this struggle and discovered that all are doing okay. That's the good news. I'm blessed to serve an incredible community of faithful and encouraging disciples. It's hard to remember sometimes that it's only been 15 days ago that the executive team made the hard call to suspend all activities here at Shepherd of the Hills. That was simply March 16th. 2 Sundays are now under the virtual worship belt, as it were. 2 Sundays of a very different worship experience. I remember the days leading up to that first worship service, all the missteps that were taken. The bulletin first sent out in publisher form, then thanks to some of you who responded, it was converted to the PDF that we now have. Not knowing how to start live, what buttons to push on Facebook Live. Some of you were having difficulty finding us on the Facebook page. But there was another side of that Sunday, March 22nd. My wife Joan was on the opposite side of the iPad. She was behind the camera, operating it. I wish you could have seen her eyes and her face and her expression as she saw those first comments scroll up and down the screen. It was amazing. She pointed out at one time, gasping. And the rest of us, I think, had to hold our breaths and maintain a professional appearance. Then it was overwhelming to read them when we finished worship and saw where people had checked in from, all around the country and Italy. I was asked by one of you how it felt to be a televangelist. I really had no clue that we would reach around the world to bringing this good news. Then there was also the realization that not everyone has a Facebook page. Who knew that fact? Then the work of creating a YouTube channel so that others could worship with us as well. I'm still in awe of the number of views our worship services have had. Over 500 on that first Sunday, and 484 on the Facebook page so far. About 25 or 30 on the YouTube channel. Way more than come to worship on any given Sunday here at Shepherd of the Hills. I've been blessed to serve a community of supportive disciples. One person has asked how to go about giving through our Vanco connection. Some of you have asked about whether we might start online giving. That's a conversation for the finance team in the near future. And many of you have mailed or delivered your offering envelopes since we moved to this virtual worship. And I want to thank all of you who have contributed in any way, online, through Vanco, through the mailing or delivering your offerings. Worship is important to you and to us. Supporting this ministry is important because we see us as a vital part of our faith base. I'm blessed to serve a community of disciples who want to keep growing in faith. I received an email last week from a parent who wanted some materials to use at home so that her children could keep growing in faith. It sounds like her children were missing our Sunday school time. So now I've asked the education team, and they're working on getting our materials into your hands. This is living out the baptismal covenant, that we will teach our children the basics of our Christian faith. And thanks, Ed team, for working on accomplishing this. I'm blessed to have so many people concerned about how I am doing and how the church is doing. Yesterday afternoon, as I was working in my wood shop, the cleaning and organizing bug that I've long ignored finally took hold. And in the midst of cleaning, organizing, and planning my next projects, my phone rang. I looked and was stunned into silence as I was being asked to FaceTime with our friend Miwa from Australia. She was checking in with us. I ran into the house with the phone and said to Miwa, "Just a minute, we have to find Joan," who was sitting there in her desk doing scrapbooking. And then we chatted, FaceTimed, for about 40 minutes, checking in with every member of Miwa and James' family that was there at home. They were concerned. They wanted to know how we were. And we, of course, wanted to know how they were. Well, the good news for them is it hasn't hit so bad in Australia. Maybe it's still making its way around the world. We are blessed people. Even in our isolated spaces, we can be in touch with one another. We get to worship together, even when we're apart, and know that God keeps us attached to one another. Siblings in faith, blessed siblings in faith. We will worship together again. And I know we will be blessed again with each other's presence someday. Perhaps May 5th, I'm hoping. But until then, please remember to wash your hands, stay home if you're sick, love one another, practice that all-important social distancing as we flatten the curve, and of course, be careful out there. I got our YouTube channel up and running, as you may have noticed from Sunday, so that we now share our worship services with more folks. If you're interested, keep searching for Shepherd of the Hills Vacaville on YouTube, and you'll find it. And by the way, you could pass that information along. We did to my older parents. My dad, however, said, "Hey, listen, I just started Facebook. Now you're asking me to try something different, one step at a time." But who knows, maybe YouTube is the next step for some. I hope you'll find us, share us, and encourage others to find and share us as well, so that you can see us, us, in worship on Sundays. So, see you Sunday. Bye-bye.